good afternoon. My name is Maria Teresa Maguana, and I'm working at Hewlett Packard. So just want to share with you my background. So my focus is with computers. Right? So for the persons who started this, so we started out with just simple gadgets like a calculator, and then later on these two persons, Hewlett and Packard, they created the laptops. Okay? And then these two persons started hiring employees actually to work for them, and they have been sharing and teaching them the technology so until they have expanded the company, and they have been, committed to helping different people. So these two are from another country. My position is as account. Okay. Okay. I'm in charge of the accounts, and what I do is I'm in charge of checking the private accounts, okay, personal accounts. So these are really confidential information that I'm dealing with. So for our clients to gain access, okay? So for example, the clients cannot gain access. So basically, I am in charge of providing them the passwords and the access. So there are 3 dev employees hired. Back then, there were about 9 of us who were interviewed, but lastly, there were only 3 of us. Okay? So, so they texted me twice. So we actually attended 2 interviews and an exam to check our English comprehension skills. And then after that, those 9 applicants were actually diminished. So until there were 4 of us for the final interview, and so each one of us were interviewed. There were 4 of us, and I was surprised because one of us was sent home, and there were only 3 of us who went there during the orientation. So the 3 of us have been working there ever since. And for about a month, we had to process the different requirements like SSS, and different requirements for the company. So we started training for about 6 months, okay, how the processes would go for how we could avoid fraud, how we could avoid, how we could protect the privacy of the accounts. So there were about 2 sessions of training, which went for 3 months each. Okay? So basically, we deal with computer processes. And I have a buddy who taught me. We did ticketing, we did tickets. So it was difficult for me to understand because it was very difficult to deal with the issues. Okay, so she's a hearing, and she's the one who helped me and taught me about the procedures, about the tickets, and the other 2 deaf colleagues also have their own buddies. So this hearing buddy of mine is very generous in terms of sharing, in terms of teaching me the procedure. Okay? So we help each other, we share whatever information we have. regarding the processing of tickets. Then after about 6 months, I started working independently. Right? So after my buddy taught me, then I would say I was very serious with my work. Was able to do it by myself. I was able to develop and improve on my skills. So if ever I wouldn't understand anything. Okay. But it doesn't happen always. So sometimes there are things I wouldn't understand, but then again, I try my best, okay, to work independently. And that is my goal. I have been with HP for 2 years and 6 months. And I could say that I really worked hard, really worked well, and never give up. Although sometimes I've been very tired processing those tickets. It was difficult. But then again, I don't give up. I'm very patient. Even my other two deaf colleagues, they would say that they want to give up, they want to resign, they want to look for another job. But then again, I tell them not to. Try to be more patient. Okay? This is a good opportunity for us. And even though it's difficult, there are our hearing buddies who taught us. So whatever my hearing buddy taught me, then I could also teach to my deaf colleagues. Okay? So if ever they wouldn't understand anything about the procedure, about processing the tickets, then we would share information with each other. And I can say I'm happy for after 6 months because I became a regular employee. So at the start of the training, we were all worried, okay? Because we're just contractual. Okay? The 3 of us were worried, the 3 deaf employees were worried. What we did was we tried our best. We were serious with our work. And then after 6 months, we were told that we are now regular employees, and that was a big relief for us. And I really appreciate my hearing buddy who has been helping me, who's been very patient with me. Although sometimes, I would ask a lot of questions, and I could say that she's very patient. Actually, she's very helpful. Okay, not only with us, deaf employees, but also with other hearing employees. And in the same manner that our team leader was able to give us good training, so we're very grateful for that for about 1 month. And my ex-manager, because she's the one who initiated the acceptance of the 9 deaf applicants. So this is the first time that they actually hired deaf people. Unfortunately, the former manager already resigned. Okay? So after our batch, they did not hire any more deaf people. And I think that the new manager is still not aware about the skills of the deaf people. So they didn't hire the second batch. So before it was a woman manager, but now we have a male manager. I could say we have a good communication. Although at first it was very difficult for us to communicate. But then during lunchtime or during break time, we would have time and we would teach them, signs. So even though they are still learning, they're using basic signs, we would teach them those signs. Okay? So in return for them teaching us the processes of tickets, we would also teach them sign language. Sometimes we would have interpreters for the trainings. And then we would have, for example, people would be on vacation leave or emergency leave. So during meetings, it was actually very difficult for us to understand it. So what we do is, some of our deaf hearing colleagues would act as interpreters. And I'm very thankful for HP because they accepted deaf employees and they provided opportunities for us. Okay. So even though they gave us a lot of wonderful opportunities, so we're very thankful. So these are some awards that I would receive. Best New Hire Presentation. So we did, this is for the hearing team, okay? So after we were hired as employees, the three of us were trying to decide what to present. So we tried to create, okay, a presentation. So what we did was single ladies, okay? So each of us was required to do a presentation, and we did single ladies. And then I also got best in attendance monthly. So I never used my sick leave. So even though I have, cough, coughs and colds, even though I'm not feeling well, I still do my best and go to work. I'm never late, okay? Or say, probably I was late only just once. So you know what CSA is? This is client satisfaction. Okay, so I got that award. So our clients would be responding in terms of the services we provide them. And the average that I got from that survey, and they got 4.70, okay, so they got the total. And this was given during Christmas. Those who never got sick, those who never applied for sick leave, so the Ironman or Women Award.